It's the elf on the shelf.
It's a big shelf holding that elf.
Look, let me show you. We are eating, we just finished eating. I'm with the Jedi Master, Ambassador Gandalf. About to say something very important. We've been going over intel marching orders the day before the midterm elections. That is not the be all end all. That is the begin. Would you say?
Yeah. That's I can fully anticipate a blue wave just as much as I can hope for a red wave. I can anticipate that because it adds in or builds into God's strategy. What is it that will take the church to her knees? To see things that they weren't anticipating. Just like the disciples who, when they saw the resurrected Jesus, their excitement wasn't in the fact that he verified resurrection or kingdom living. They were excited because, oh great, are you now going to set us up as the head?
That's what they thought, the political, yeah.
That's exactly what. And is there something different in the church today? Of course not. If these things were types and examples for our understanding, if these are living dramas so that we, at the time of the harvest, can clearly see the difference between wheat and tares, what's going to bring any amount of believers to their knees? Not thinking, well, I read the end of the book, I win. All of a sudden going, why am I at the bottom? Why is the rest of the world looking at me and saying, whoa, so there's what your God did. He left you at the bottom and I'm on top. Would that bring somebody to their knees? Would that bring somebody to a brokenness? That's a strategy. It's a broken church.
The broken and the hungry are the ones who are going to... let me jump to me for 1 second. It was here over bacon and eggs that Gandalf mentioned the spiritual 2022 heading into 2023 equivalency of Normandy. Gandalf, can you tell us a little bit about where you were going with that?
Well, the spiritual Normandy, well, the church, Christendom has a lot of anticipation. And one of the things that they don't anticipate, which is acted out in type by the Gen Z or whoever it is that's got their soft place, that they won't want to hear anything harsh or hard. You know, those people with their political science certificates, you know, or gender studies certificates, they think that everything is going to be hunky-dory for them. As long as liberal progressivism keeps passing out, you know, a little bit of leavened bread to them, they're happy. And that's the church today. At large.
It's soft and complacent. And we prematurely, we're like Bush on the aircraft carrier. We're like W going mission accomplished, let's say after Super Tuesday. And that's only the start, right?
Yeah, now it's read again and again that Ezekiel chapter of, you know, what else could I have done for you? But she goes out. This is the church. This is Israel. Goes out, and she's not a regular hooker. She doesn't go out and wait for somebody to wave a 20 at her. She's paying 100 to get somebody to come into her. That's Christianity today. Okay?
The whore is paying.
She is paying.
She's not getting paid. How do you like that? That's
how much
ridiculousness.
Money, how much money are we giving to Ukraine?
This is
how much money are
detestable.
we giving to Iran?
Right.
How much money are we giving to our enemies? How much trade do we give to communist China? Okay, if this isn't this
a parallel,
hey,
total.
Hey, God through Ezekiel saying, I can't believe this. You're not like any other hooker, man. Other hookers sit there on the corner and wait for their prey to come and pay them. You're paying your people to come into you and molest you and rape you. And you're thinking you're righteous. So it's going to take some real sad comeuppance for the church to realize I am the broken one. We are the broken one. it's a reverse strategy from what we've ever been taught. This whole thing of
Yep.
I read the end of the
Good.
book and we win. Well, yes and no. Okay.
Okay, gonna switch to me for a second. So on the day after Not So Super Wednesday, following the super quote unquote Super Tuesday, the church then, what are we? Collateral damage still, or where would you? What would you describe as best case and worst case scenarios?
I'm really not relating anything to this election, and that's tomorrow.
Yes.
See, I already voted.
Okay.
I already voted, and yeah, it's the first time in my voting career that I just went straight party.
Me too.
Okay.
FYI.
Except for on the judges. All the judges, I did my examination. Those were that are in place, that are appointed by liberal and progressive governors, etc. You know, they're out. Oh, and by the way, it's very important to vote no, as opposed to have no vote for your judges, because they count the yes and the no. I mean, if two people vote yes and nobody votes no, that judge stays. If three people vote no and two people vote yes, that judge goes.
I got to interrupt. I'm going to go back to me for a second. I found it very curious that this time around, my piece of paper, the voting, I thought, and because I vote each time, I'm going to flip back to you, but each time, there was, this time around, for the first time, to me, it felt like there was an inordinate amount of judges.
That's the same
That's
amount.
a curious thing. Do you think it was the same amount?
It's pretty much the same amount because they go around and come around.
Okay, but let me finish the thought here, Dave, for a second. So I thought to myself, on everything else, prop so and so, this, the other, they have to specify who they're affiliated more in their philosophies.
Yeah.
But no, not the judges. How do you base it on a name, David?
Google, LinkedIn, Facebook.
And they tell you.
Oh yeah, you can find that most of these people, they're profile people. They're high profile.
I'm happy to say, by the way, David, that I just put no across the board.
And even there's this thing called Ballotpedia.org. You can go there and search them out. But I mean, on the judges, look at their history and their position. If they were appointed by Duke Magian,
Yes.
Duke Magian is the guy who signed my penitentiary pardon.
Oh, interesting.
Oh yeah, he was a Republican.
Yes, yes.
If they were appointed by Duke Magian, you're in there. If they were appointed by Brown, senior or junior,
You're right.
no.
Throw the bum out.
I hate to sound so partisan, because partisan isn't what's important, because they're both a bunch of perverts.
Oh, there's corruption to go around.
There's sufficient corruption for all. It's policy that counts. It's
Yep.
not personality. It's not politics. Unfortunately,
David, I got to ask you. This is a good moment. What do you say, if there's anything that can be said to a hardened heart that has only voted along party lines, the party of JFK, the party of versus the party of Lincoln, Lincoln being a Republican? What do you say about you really got to do your homework before you go into this booth?
oh, like I don't know the partisan picture that well, because that's a big thing. And I'm going to, we have 4 pieces of bacon. I'm going to eat 1 piece of bacon at a time.
He ate at a time there because he ate like 6.
It was good.
All right, yes, it was.
But the point is I'm going to look at, I can't look at the partisan picture. I have to look at the principle.
Yeah.
I'm all for free choice. Okay? As an example. People talk about choice. Okay? Deuteronomy 30 tells us, it's pretty simple. It says, I give you, I set before you life and death. Choose life. If you're going to make a choice, make sure what's the ramifications of that choice. If I'm going to jump out of an airplane, am I going to make sure I got a parachute on, or am I just going to jump? Okay? If I'm going to make a choice, what's the result of my choice? Is somebody going to live, or is somebody going to die? I mean, I've gone through things like that in prison, where what you choose makes a difference in somebody living or dying. So, it's the policy that counts and what the result of that policy is. I don't see how anybody, particularly a believer who has read that ye are a holy people, be ye holy for I am holy, you're a holy priesthood. That means set apart, a border, a limit between the two. Okay? How can a nation be without border? It's not a nation. It's called the Badlands.
Yeah, it's the Badlands.
It's the
Right.
Badlands,
Yeah.
okay? And anything goes, because if there's no border, there's no restriction. And does it benefit the land that overcarries itself? I like to liken it to a life raft, okay? I mean, there was the movie Titanic. There was one point in it where the coxswain is rowing away from
The sinking ship.
the sinking ship, and this celebrity is yelling at him to stop and bring these people on board. And he ultimately had to put the gun to the lady and said, "Lady, we're not bringing anybody on board." And he kept rowing.
The unsinkable Molly Brown.
And why would he be like that? Because he's hardcore and cruel? Because he didn't care about the people drowning? He cared about the people in his boat. If you're the coxswain, if you're the captain, if you're the master and commander of your ship, make sure that you're fair. The people who have paid their way and gotten into the boat safely and the proper amount live. If you bring in another and they all sink, you're going to go down in infamy.
I'm going to jump to me for a second. This brings to my mind what you're talking about. The issue of, David, I feel like the greater good is being underrepresented right now. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, somewhat. The greater good is, again, like all things, we live in this, the earth, the world, the drama that we're living out is diffracted. What's that word?
Define good, right. The good is evil, evil is good in this era.
Especially the greater.
Oh, yes. It's going to extremes now. Yeah.
The whole crop is good. Ultimately, it'll feed everybody. But there's a given season for the abib, the first ripe, the first fruits to be taken in, and that's what feeds the bride.
Listen, and by the way, as it relates to this, I can see a correlation. The camera's back on me right now for a second, between this being harvest time and the increase of greater good from days of old. Yeah. Not based on the parallelograms of a godless, rudderless society right now. David, back to you.
God the Father, the one on the great white throne, is not concerned about the masses or bringing in a greater number of people. He wants the right, period. The right. And that's Abib. They've been toasted. That's the color. That phrase Abib, which occurs during
A-B-I-B?
A-B-I-B. It occurs during the season of April, first fruits. Okay, Passover. There's the first fruits that come.
Blood Moon, by the way, tomorrow. This video is being prepared for tomorrow, so it's technically today.
Yeah. So it's the big bundle isn't what's important. It's the right bundle that God values. They can be trusted. I got to take a break.
Okay. David, one last thing, real quick. So, I have people, and many do out there, that have family on the left and family on the right. And it's like the stonewalling when trying to persuade them, maybe not being the correct delivery system. Well, the one thing that I'm noticing, the arguments that are being made is, well, I vote for the current regime through whatever means they were able to get to the power, but yet both sides are doing things that are bad, crooked.
Absolutely. Now, we had a sister in the meeting yesterday that made comment about how happy she is, even though she knows and recognizes that she is politically opposite of most of us in the meeting. We accept her. There's great hope for that, and I would never call her a Democrat or any other phrase.
A derogatory.
Anything derogatory, because the dialogue, as long as there's a dialogue, there's hope. Okay? Without dialogue, there's no hope.
You can't spell dialogue without die, by the way.
Yep. Somebody's going to die while somebody else jumps on the log.
Okay, Molly Brown. Thank you for your time.